Welcome to the 20th episode of the Who, What, When, Where, and the Why podcast. My name is Kathleen Johnson, your host and YMCA Senior Program Director, and my guest today is new CEO Meagan Shaheen. Hi, Meagan. How are you?
Hi, doing great. Thanks.
Good. Meagan is now 90 days new to the Tuscarawas County YMCA, and this is her first appearance on the podcast, and hopefully we will have many, many more to come. Is this your first podcast experience?
This is my very first podcast experience.
Isn't it cool? Like you can hear yourself in these little headphone things. And
very cool.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool setup. Of course, we have all our friends over here from the Browns that also use this podcast center. So we're excited to be amongst the greatness here at the podcast studio. So in today's episode, listeners, here's what you're going to get to do. We're going to get to know Meagan. And so those of you who've been following the podcast know that we'll have those 10 questions at the end that we will shoot and fire at her to see if she can answer things about herself. All right. So you should know the answers. We're going to get to hear your why story, which is why we brought you here today, and a glimpse of what your vision is for the YMCA as we move through this next year. So what I've learned about Meagan so far, listeners, is this. She has amazing energy, always smiling. You can already tell that. She's very happy. She's competitive in nature. We have learned that in the first 90 days, that she likes a little bit of competition and she likes a good challenge. She has amazing people skills. She makes friends wherever she goes. In fact, I'm sure Josh will be a friend of hers before we leave today, as he works behind the scenes in his camera. She leads with passion and authority, and she loves the TV shows The Office and Seinfeld. So that tells you she has a very odd sense of humor. And she truly loves the why. So I have titled this episode, Meagan on a Mission. And so I want to start it off with just telling you that I did do some research, and I Googled to see who the most famous people were that had the name Meagan. You're amongst a lot of actors and actresses. Meg Telly, Meg Ryan, Megan Fox. They all spell their name differently than our Meagan does. And I honestly was hoping kind of for a better list. So I encourage you to make this list because it needs better Meagans on it. Obviously, some women that have done some great stuff other than just acting, right? Not that that's not a good thing. It's a great profession. I'm not making fun of it in any way. I also Googled trivia questions on The Office, which I will quiz you about those at the end as well, so that our listeners stay tuned for that because it's going to be very exciting because I'm pretty sure she's going to know most of the answers. So Meagan, tell us a little bit about your why story, or tell us a lot about your why story. You're not new to the YMCA. Obviously, you can give us a little bit of the professional history, but tell us why you love the why first.
Well, I started at the YMCA shortly after I graduated from high school in 2003. I grew up in Minerva, small little town. Some people may or may not be familiar with it. Reminds me a lot of Dover, actually, in a lot of different ways. But I got recruited, actually, oddly enough, by my bus driver growing up. She managed our local pool as well. And she knew that I played sports, and she just kind of said, hey, you can be a lifeguard, you play sports. Go to the Louisville Y and get trained. Okay. So some of my friends and I, we went to the Louisville Y, we got trained as lifeguards, and we lifeguarded that summer after we graduated at the Minerva pool, and that was my first Y experience. So I taught swimming lessons, and I was a lifeguard there. Great experience. My friends and I still talk about that experience to this day. That pool no longer exists. There's a newer pool that sits in its place, much smaller. After that, my freshman year of college, I played soccer at Heidelberg College then, Heidelberg University now. But during that time, that was really my only break from the Y, if you will. After I decided to transfer to Kent State my sophomore year, I got re-involved with the Y in Akron. So I worked for the Akron area YMCA through college, was a lifeguard and a swim instructor all the way through college, worked at multiple Ys. And what I loved about it back then, starting my career in aquatics, was I loved teaching swimming lessons. I just loved seeing kids starting off, or adults for that matter, starting off so scared or timid or shy about swimming. And then you would see them just blossom over the course of the session or their involvement in swimming lessons. And just to see a child or an adult have that aha moment that they get it and they're increasing their confidence and that you had something to do with that was just really an amazing feeling. And I would get, of course, notes, from parents or from adults that I had taught, and it just seeing your impact and knowing that maybe it was there, but then when it's written out for you in the form of a thank you was just very rewarding. So I enjoyed my time in aquatics. Like I said, I worked in aquatics throughout my college career. When I graduated from college, I had an opportunity to go work at a summer camp for the Y, actually. And I did not have experiences with camp growing up. So I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, but I just knew I'm going to push myself outside of my comfort zone. I'm going to go to this interview. I'm going to be the waterfront director for this camp. And I had never managed brown water. I was always a pool lifeguard, so it was a little scary. And I'll never forget walking around Camp Wainoa with Kyle now. And we talk about it to this day and laugh about it because we walked around camp and she kept kind of looking at me and she's like, do you really want this job? Do you really want to work here? And I was like, well, where am I going to live and take showers? I was like a camper,
Yeah.
I was very concerned about having to live out there for the summertime. But I said, no, I want this job. I really do. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me because working at summer camp really helped mold me for the future as a Y professional. I learned that you can have a plan and then it can rain or something happens with the kids and that plan is torched and you have to figure something out on the fly. But really the most impactful moment for me was the first week of camp. Like I said, I was like a camper. So these kids arrived at camp, they were dropped off by their parents, and some of the kids were just annoyed that their parents signed them up for them to go there. They didn't want to go there. They didn't want to have anything to do with it. Some of the kids were just scared and they cried because they'd never been away from their parents before. So I'm watching all this happen at the beginning of the week. I get through my first week of camp. We have a ceremony on Friday before the kids go home on Saturday. And so you go up into the chapel at camp and it's beautiful. If you've never been to Camp Wainoa, green, go check it out. And so we stood up in the chapel and everyone's got a candle, counselors, all staff and the kids. And you look around the circle and all those kids that were not wanting to be at camp at the beginning of the week, you look at them and now they're crying because they don't want to go home.
Aww.
Because they made a friend. They got to climb the Alpine Tower. They got to swim in a lake and maybe they'd never swam in a lake, or got to use the blob, which is an amazing inflatable if you've never tried the blob or seen the movie Heavyweights. But it was a transformational experience for me to see that. And not only were all the kids crying, I was crying too, and all the staff were crying. It was just a very, very good emotion, a good cry, because you had such a large impact on these kids' lives. And as I said, some kids don't get the opportunity to go to camp because it's too expensive, and the Y provides financial assistance. So one of the many reasons why I love the Y. But that was huge for me. And our summer camp director that summer, Nathan Brandt, said, if you guys are looking for a career with the Y after this summer and you've done a great job here, come to me and let me know and I'm going to help you find a career with the Y. So that's what I did. And from there, I managed a Portage Lakes Fitness Center, was a management agreement with the Akron Area YMCA at that time. So I took over as a coordinator there for a period of time before I got my first full-time job with the Y at the University Park YMCA in Akron as an aquatic director. Great experience there. Truly great experiences at every single Y I've ever worked at for different reasons. So that was my first experience, and I was there full-time for about a year before a position came open with the YMCA of Central Stark County at Myers Lake. So I transitioned from there and I went back to the Y that I started with, because when I was a lifeguard at the Minerva Pool, that Minerva Pool is under the umbrella of the YMCA of Central Stark County. So I went back to the place that I started, and I spent the last 10 years there at the YMCA of Central Stark County. I loved every minute of it. The last year before I left to come here, I took over the operations at the Eric Snow Family YMCA in downtown Canton. I was a district executive director between both of those branches before coming here to Tuscarawas County. So all my Y experiences are a little different, varied, depending on the YMCA, but all great experiences. They've truly molded me to be the person who I am today. Something I maybe didn't mention is my sophomore year of college. My dad passed away very suddenly. Woke up Monday morning to go to work, had a massive heart attack, and died at our home. And so that was a challenging time in my life for various reasons, and something that always kept me grounded and supported was the YMCA and the people that I came across when I was at the Y. Members who had experienced similar things, lost family members. I tell everyone that the second card that I received in the mail, which obviously it's been since 2005 and I haven't forgotten this, but second card I got in the mail, I opened it up and it was addressed to me. And on the inside of the card, it was full of YMCA staff and members. And I just thought, for them to go out of their way like that, they don't even know me. I'm like 20 years old, and I just felt very loved and supported. And when I came back to the Y, after my dad's funeral and all that, I came into the pool area and all these members, they came to hug me. Oh. And that was an amazing experience, and something I'll never forget, and something that I'm able to help other people with now as I'm a leader in the Y.
Yeah. We just have felt very fortunate I've been with the Y for 23 years. I felt very fortunate of the leadership that we've gotten in the CEO position. And we were really excited when you applied because, immediately when we heard the position was going to open, you were like the first person I thought of. I thought, boy, I wonder if Meagan would go for this. And so it's just such a great opportunity for us to get to be part of your Y history, because it's going to make a big impact here at Tusc County. So what would you tell people out there that are looking for a career at the Y? What would you say, as far as how do you go about something like that? And we've got some career opportunities right now that are hanging out there that somebody might be interested in. So what would you think?
I would tell somebody to get involved, whether it's on a volunteer basis or a part-time basis, and just learn about the Y and discover what they're most passionate about there. And then connect themselves with somebody at the Y that is a professional, and we can help grow them. We can help develop them, send them to training, and get them ready for that position.
Yeah, I love that you have such a great Y experience, especially in camp, because it really does make such a big difference for a lot of kids, even day camps that run throughout the summer. We're hoping to make those great impressions on kids and allow them to take those memories back with them forever. And a lot of kids don't have that experience. I mean, I myself grew up, we hardly ever swam in a swimming pool. We always swam in the lake. But I'm not in any way a lifeguard or, all that great of a swimmer. But you also played other sports as well. So you had a lot of, tell us a little bit about, did you play any Y sports? Did you play sports at a YMCA?
I actually should have started my Y story with, that's how I got involved with the Y when I was young, was I developed a passion for basketball at the Y. I played Y basketball, and I loved it. I begged my parents to sign me up for it. And I didn't realize it at the time, but looking back on it, I realized all the great volunteers that were my friends' parents that volunteered their time so they could teach us the game of basketball. And so basketball is my favorite sport. I try to still play it at the Y if there are any leagues going on. Getting a little older, so I got to protect my knees and ankles, but truly love basketball.
Nice. Any other big secrets, hidden secrets about Meagan that we should know?
Oh, I don't know. I think we've kind of unearthed all those things. Maybe there's more to come.
Maybe. Yes, maybe. So, what's the next year look like for you, for a CEO? And you have a lot of leadership experience as well, but the education doesn't stop here, right? So, what's the next year look like for a CEO in a new position like you're in?
Lots of learning, lots of learning every single day. Not only that, but continuing my education and training as well. So this year I'll be attending New CEO Institute at YMCA of the USA in Chicago, which will be extremely beneficial for me, moving positions from district executive director to CEO, just to understand some of the differences and just things to be aware of and some of my new tasks and responsibilities. So definitely a lot of learning there, and I have a lot to learn, as I told all the staff when I started, and I'm still learning from all the staff and the members and the community. I've been going out and meeting with community leaders. I intend to continue to do that until I've crossed everyone off my list, but I keep crossing people off as I meet with them, but adding others.
The list just keeps growing.
Yeah. So just lots of learning. You're absolutely correct when you say that continuing education is needed, because you've never just arrived, right? You've always got to keep going, no matter how old you are or how seasoned you think you are.
Actually, one of the things I love about what you've brought to the table so far in our leadership meetings every week is that she adds this little graphic to our agenda, and the first week you're like, oh no, she's gonna be one of those people but man, she's really pressing on a couple of things for me here. Just lately, I loved the one I told you the other day about. You had like this circle, and it's like where the magic is, and then this little circle beside it, and it was like your comfort zone. And so like you got to get out of your comfort zone to get to where the magic is. And I was like, that thought like resonated with me all week long. So I love these little graphics that she keeps putting on the side of I have one stuck to my computer, and so that it's interesting to you'll be my third CEO since I've been at the Y, and just the personality differences and the way that you go about it, but that the wholesomeness of the leadership has been very similar. And so I like that. I inspired to be more like it, which is really helpful. I mean, there's definitely an age difference between the two of us, and I am learning some really great things and have learned some really great things from you already. So we're super excited to have you. So glad that you took the position and came to the Y. So that's her story. Any thoughts about what the next year for our YMCA might look like, and what maybe some things that you're hoping to bring to the table that we haven't done?
Well, we brought back some family programming, which has been off to a great start so far this year. We had 130 girls register for the daddy-daughter dance. So you can imagine if you've got 130 girls, then you have the dads with them. So we had a pretty big crew at the Y for the daddy-daughter dance, which was awesome. And tonight, Nerf night.
Night. So who knows what'll happen there?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy, but a lot of fun for the kiddos. And that one is sold out as well. Yeah. So we're trying to bring back a lot of family activities for people. We know that obviously with the economy right now, everything's going up and up. And it's very hard to find a place to go with your family and spend maybe $20 to have a fun evening with your family. And so we're trying to bring that back for our members. Also, we're just trying to, look about the building and figure out what we can do we have a gem in Tuscarawas County. Our Y is amazing. And so we're just trying to look about the building and make every area of it a little bit better if we can. 24/7 access is great. And so we're continuing to build upon that. And just, like I said, learning. So I think it's hard for me to say long-term what my vision will be. I think it's too soon for me to say that exactly, just because as I go throughout this first year, I think I'll have a really good understanding and idea of some of the things that we'll need to do, going into the future.
Yeah. I was going to use Tuscarawas County trivia to see how, but I don't want to, I don't want.
Might be too soon for that.
It might be too soon, but probably that will probably come up. So you need to start learning that. But let's go to our the office trivia questions for you. So for those of you who don't know, why is this your favorite show?
It's so relatable to work. It just, for those of you who don't watch The Office, if you watch The Office, you're like, oh my gosh, this is where I work. This happens. And it truly does. And it reminds you. And what I love about it too is, Michael is wildly inappropriate, right? But the show does a great job of showing you how caring of a boss he truly is. And that comes out several times throughout the season or throughout the whole show. Mm-hmm. And so I love that part about it as well. But it's very relatable to a lot of our workplaces.
Yeah. So I think I'm probably one of your oldest directors. And so I have never watched The Office. And so I need to, because she laughs about it all the time. And I'm like, I don't understand what we're doing. But okay. So here are some questions I thought maybe you would know the answers to. So from the, I think some of these are from the original first episodes of the first season of The Office. But you would probably know. She probably knows exactly which episode they're from. What does Pam steal in the first season? What is she known for stealing?
That's a great question. Did she steal Dwight's stapler so that Jim could put it in the Jell-O?
No.
No, it was Jim that stole Dwight's stapler. What did she steal? I'm stumped.
Post-it notes. She steals Post-it notes from people. That happens a lot at our YMCA. People steal your Post-it notes.
Oh, that and pens.
Yeah. Pens.
I'm really bad about that.
I know. What's in Michael's thermos during the morning deliveries for Michael Scott Paper Company?
Oh my gosh, he's only drinking milk and sugar. That's it.
Very good. Milk and sugar.
They're like, you drink this every day? He's like, yeah.
Yeah. Who bought Michael's World's Best Boss mug? Who bought it for him?
He bought it for himself, right?
He bought it for himself. Well, you're good. Okay, so you're you're 2 for 3, right? What color does Dwight paint Michael's office when he thinks he's taking over?
Oh gosh, I think it's black or red.
It's black.
Yeah.
Yeah, he paints it black.
He said it exudes dominance or something like that. I forget.
I was like, black? Oh my gosh, that would be awful to go into. What does Kevin wear on his feet to Jim and Pam's wedding?
Oh my gosh. I can't remember that one.
Tissue boxes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, what? You have 2 more. Are you ready? Yeah, I know you know this one because you already alluded to it. But where does Jim hide Dwight's stapler?
In Jell-O.
In Jell-O. And tell him about she has a little knick-knack on her desk.
Yes, I was given a lot of things to take with me to Tuscarawas County from my fellow colleagues in the YMCA of Central Stark County, and one of them is a stapler in Jell-O. When you push it, it speaks to you in office quotes.
Yeah, so if you ever want to be entertained, you can go into Megan's office and push.
I also
Jell-O.
have a clock too it's Kevin when he's being forced to eat the broccoli. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with that episode or not. Very funny too.
A clock. Here's your last one. And I only chose this one because I liked the answer because this is from my generation. What is Dwight's favorite TV show?
Oh my gosh. I don't remember.
Battlestar Galactica.
Oh my gosh, I should have known that. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. I should have known that.
I was like, I know
it's
that.
Friday, so your brain power just kind of goes down throughout the week. I should have known that one. I'm better than that.
Not bad. So there, you, I'm sure, can Google this yourself and get more Office trivia, as well as Seinfeld and everything else that you want to ask your friends at your next dinner party. So here is your 10 question speed round. This gives us a little bit more information about Meagan. You ready?
I'm ready.
What was the last book that you read?
Oh my gosh. The last book that I read was when I first started, and I can't remember what the name of it is. It was given to me by a retired CEO.
Oh, it was a good one then, I'm sure. It was probably a leadership book.
Yes, it was a leadership book. But I'm getting ready to start the Everyday Leader.
Everyday Leader. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Not a huge ice cream fan, but if I'm going to eat it, mint chocolate chip.
Oh, good. What song makes you want to get up and dance?
I love all music. I couldn't really pinpoint a song, but if you see me in my car on 77, I'm always jamming out in my car. People are probably like, what is wrong with her?
Is she having an attack of some kind? Dog versus cat?
Cat.
Yes, finally got one, Josh. I think everybody says dog.
I literally just got a cat on Wednesday. We got our first family pet.
Oh my goodness. That's awesome. What's its name?
It's Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
For any Disney fans out there.
Do you have a secret talent?
Oh gosh, secret talent. Not that I'm aware of.
Really? You need to get one.
I don't know. I don't know what the secret talent would be. I don't juggle or mime or...
You walk on your hands or...
No. I mean, I could do a cartwheel.
Oh, well,
I don't think that's a secret talent, though.
I'll tell Miss Nancy at the Y that you can do a cartwheel. We'll get you back in the gym. I already know your favorite TV show. But what's your current favorite TV show? Do you have a new one?
No, I don't really have a whole lot of time. Usually I want to watch something at the end of the day, but I'll make it maybe 15 minutes into it before I fall asleep.
Favorite sport? You already told us.
Basketball.
Favorite sports team?
Oh, I love the Browns, the Guardians. I support Ohio teams.
Nice. Favorite actor? Not named Meagan. Because...
That's a tough one. There's so many good ones. I don't think I could just pick one.
Okay. And a talent that you wish you had?
A talent that I wish I had. I like to be good at everything as far as sports goes, but I don't golf. And now that apparently when you're a CEO, you have to golf. Which I didn't know that was like, you become a CEO, you get your name tag and you're like your golf club and you go out and golf. So I've never golfed before, so I need to try it, but I'm afraid I'll be like Happy Gilmore, if I'm not good at it.
Well, so we had this great idea last year for the golf outing because Tiffany golfs, but was not a good golfer. Hopefully she's not listening to this. And so what we had decided was that to help raise money for the annual campaign through our YMCA golf outing, that we were going to put Tiffany on one of the holes and you had to pay her not to take your shot. So she was going to take your first shot for
That's
you.
Hilarious.
And you could pay her not to. And so we thought we would make a killing on it, but then she decided to golf. And so she just, had fun with her own team. But I think we could probably try that again this year, and you could just stand at that hole and you'll say, I get to take it. Like, this is,
it might be really
pay me
bad.
not to, and I'm going to use your clubs. And so you really could pay me not to use your clubs. There's a lot of money-making thoughts that go with that.
Tiffany's probably a better golfer than me.
I don't golf either, so I don't know. Anything else that you would like to conclude with until...
No, I'm just excited to be here. I appreciate the opportunity to be on the podcast today. Very exciting.
Yeah, she'll be with us again next month as we bring information about the annual campaign and some of the fun things that we're going to do as we support that out to the community. So thanks for being here today. So our 20th podcast has come to an end. Remember that if you have a Y story that you'd like to share with us, we would love to hear about it. And you can email me, Kathleen at tuscymca.org, or you can give us a call and we'll set up an interview with you because we can't wait to hear from you. Take a moment to check out our website, tuscymca.org, and follow us on Facebook to get lots of information about the upcoming events that we have. And plus, we want you to share our podcast. Upcoming events coming at your Y in the next couple of months. Egg Dive Family Fun Night coming to you on March 31st. Healthy Kids Day, always a great event for the YMCA, coming to you on Saturday, April 29th. And watch that Facebook page for more details. So from all of us at the Y, thanks for watching the podcast.